All right. Hi, everybody. This is the week 4 for TCL-70's weekly meet. Again, we are now almost getting close to midway through the whole thing. And again, everybody still seems to be doing pretty well. So, anybody have any thoughts, questions, concerns, weird stuff that happened over the last week that we want to talk about?
Mm.
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I guess we can dive right into it. So we had two pieces of work. We had the filtering of the list, and we had adding people to an external list. Does either pairing want to go first in terms of demoing and showing us what you did?
We could go first, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Hmm.
Let me share my screen. Hang on 1 second. Oops. Let me get it up. All right, so can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
So our thing was to filter the shopping list to locate an item. So when a user comes to the page, they need to sign in, and I've already done that. And then they'll need to select a list. So I'll select party, then they'll need to go to the list page, and then you'll have all the items in that list, and then you'll have a little input here to search through them. So like for instance, if I put C, it should show all of the items that have the letter C in them. If you continue to show two types, so CA, you get 2 items that have CA in them. And then it narrows it down to the one that you're looking for. This button here will clear the input, and then you get to see all your items again. Then I will pass it off to Amanda to walk you through the code.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. Can everyone see my code first?
Yep.
Thank you. So this is a script to show a list of items. User can search through this item by searching in the search box. Here is our input box. When someone start typing in the search box, it will keep track of what is being typed and what is done through handle change function, which updates a variable called search term. Handle term, yeah. And to make sure that web page doesn't slow down by searching after every letter is typed, there is a slight pause, 300 milliseconds, before the scripts filter the list based on what is being typed. Yeah, here is a part. And the actual filtering happens in the use effect function. Sorry, no. It takes a list of all items, the data, and checks each one to see if the name includes what's being typed in the search box, the search term, and the script ignores space and case, lower or upper, whatever, when searching. So uppercase Apple, lowercase Apple, or A space P space P will all show like Apple in the case. And since once the script finds all the item and match the search term, it updates the display list here. It only shows the matching items. This makes it easier for the user to find what they're looking for. And this is a quick way that the search box can reset the list by clicking the clear button here. So they can reset by clicking this button. And this is it. Yeah, and this is all of our code.
Awesome.
Great work.
Thank you.
Anything that you thought was a challenge in particular, or does it feel pretty straightforward? I put in a bunch of different like text variations when testing the thing, and it all seemed like it was working just fine. So I wasn't able to trick the filter like sometimes I can get it to do.
Yeah, the bouncing was very new to both of us, I think. And then Rachel told us, "Hey, you don't even need it." But then we were like, "Well, we learned something new," because I think that if you're doing this on an API, it would really help, especially if you're using like a free API that only allows you a certain amount of calls.
Mm.
I can see that working, so I definitely learned that for future projects.
Yeah. Again, it was just sort of a nice to have, and it wasn't really something that needed to be there, but it's just one of those things that like I like to point out as a thing to think about when we're going through it. But I think in terms of implementing the pattern, you guys put in the exact one that you should have, and look like we're great. So
Yeah.
thank you. All right. Now let's see. Do we want to do the other one?
Yeah. I'll share my screen. Everybody see? Oops. So for us, we needed the user to be able to share a list to other registered users. So I'll just go here. I think one of these is mine. We first have to select a list that you own, and then we can share it. And on success, you see a successful message, and if not, here's an outcome. Pretty straightforward. In terms of code, we just added a form over here. The label properly selects the input when you click on the input. We have a on-change handler to track the input value, and it sets the state up here. Yeah, I'll pass on to Grace to explain the code for the share list functions.
Yeah, so we had to make sure in the firebase.js file in our share list function, it throws an error message for two different instances. So one, if the user's trying to share a list that they're not the owner of, it'll throw a message that says you are not the owner of this list. And then the other instance was if the email that the user entered into the form wasn't in the database, then it would throw a user not found error message. So in our managed list, when the user enters an email and submits the form, it'll trigger the handle email invite submit function, which if everything works the way it should, then it should share the list with the user, and then they'll see the message your list was shared, and then it'll clear their form. But if anything happens, and we'll console log the error and the user will be able to see the error message. And yeah.
Lyle, you're muted.
Oops. So yeah, this looks perfect. This was the one I was a little bit more worried about last week, just because we've been having so much fun with the Firebase and references and stuff up until this point. So that being said, it kind of looked like y'all just plugged it in and it went straight forward. How did that go? Did you run into any challenges trying to get it hooked up, or did it just kind of go?
Well, initially, like I messaged in Slack, we weren't sure if we were supposed to mess with the Firebase file functions. So we were trying to figure out how we could return a error message. But at that point, we figured out like it must return from the function. So that's when we just asked in Slack if we're able to modify the code. And then it makes sense, like if it's part of the scope, then just fix it, I guess.
Great. Yeah, and I think I made some notes about like when you should and shouldn't, go out of the defined path and touch things, and where it makes sense to. But I think y'all were doing the right thing. You had your head in the right place too with where you're going at it. So yeah, good work, and thanks for reaching out and asking about that too. So appreciate it. All right. With that, I'm going to hand us over to Rachel, and we'll talk about our learnings for this week.
Yeah, so did you all get a chance to watch that video for the interview storytelling?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. I feel like you guys have probably interviewed for jobs before, but was there anything that you took away from this that you maybe hadn't thought of before? Because I thought they did make some really good points, and I did have took some notes on some highlights, and I have a little resource to share with you guys that might be helpful also. But I just wanted to touch base with you guys first and see what you thought of it.
I saw some things that I have questions about, like not
Okay.
putting the dates. Like she said that dates weren't important. I don't know
Oh,
if, yeah, if is that okay? I kind of remember
like
like you
the
shouldn't put
date.
date.
I feel like I must have like not listened to that piece. The dates for your jobs,
I don't know if it's for the
like
job.
to your
She
job
said
history.
dates weren't important, and she said it's because she's old, so she doesn't put dates. But I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what it
I
was
remember
for.
that part. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
yeah,
don't.
it's like if stuff is, because I'm also old, so if stuff is so freaking long ago that it's like it doesn't really matter. Like the list of verifiable experience is what's important ultimately.
Mhm.
And I think she mentioned something about gaps too. And so like that kind of alleviates that like it's not really necessary for them to know about your gaps. They're probably not going to ask about it anyway, and so it just kind of alleviates that like pressure too if you do have a gap you're worried about.
Yeah, and she also said that a functional resume rather than a linear resume could work as well. Or I guess where you
Yeah.
put like your projects rather than first foremost, because I've seen resumes like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like especially when you don't have a ton of experience or any experience in engineering, like
Mhm.
that's what you've got. Like that's your foot in the door.
Yeah.
So that's really
Another thing
helpful.
she also said that I kind of have a question about is like she also said, give me a reason to go to your GitHub or give me a reason to go to your portfolio. Do we do
Yes.
that in the resume?
Yeah, like a just a quick sentence to be just to kind of like think of it as like an introductory sentence. Like not like she said, like not your LinkedIn, because obviously we know why you want to go to LinkedIn. And I feel like the GitHub too is obvious. Like you want that, these are my repos, look at my code, obviously.
Yeah.
But like a link to like your to just some website that you've made that like nobody knows about but you, like probably just put like a little sentence that's like this, I made this and I want you to see this, and this is going to have a bunch of info about me and stuff.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anybody else have anything that like stood out to them? Because if not, I just have a little thing I want to share with you guys really quick.
Yeah, I would love to hear about it.
Okay. There's something that I found really helpful, even though like I was in like, my late 30s going to boot camp, but we had a career thing too, and it was called the STAR method. Have you guys ever heard of that? It's
No.
situation. It's when you answer questions in an interview and you think of the acronym STAR, which stands for situation, task, action, and result. And here is, and they basically like covered this. Like she talked about this, but not in a specific way. And I just put a link in the chat for it, a description of it. And so it's just like they're going to ask you a question. You're going to want to bring up a situation from your experience that's relevant to the question that they asked, and what your responsibility was in that situation, what action that you took that handled the situation or overcame a challenge, and what was the result of that outcome, whether it's positive or negative, like because that shows your experience in just dealing with challenges and overcoming challenges, and also maybe having to kind of sit with challenges when they can't be resolved. and how you handled that, because that can be really tough. And I really liked this because I thought it was just kind of the right way to talk to people during an interview, and just a really neat and tidy way to think about it and easy to remember. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And another point that she made that I thought was really great was sanitizing your social media, which was something that was never brought up to me, but I just did it automatically because I was super paranoid. But it's a good idea. Because I had Twitter for a long time, and like it was just my personal Twitter, and I was like, I should probably go through this and like get rid of some tweets. And so that's just something to think about. Google yourself, what's going to show up. And oh, the other thing was the cover letter, like how unimportant the cover letter is, but really what the cover letter is about being an example of your written communication style. Nobody had ever really brought that up to me, that really that's what a cover letter is for, and that's so true. Like I would put a lot of pressure on myself writing a cover letter when really you really can just write like a few sentences that's just, this is a little about me, and ultimately this is just how I communicate. That's all it's for.
And also the other thing about cover letters is that I don't know that everybody's always going to read them, especially if you put a really long one on there. But especially if you tailor it for the job that you are applying for, it at least tells the hiring person that you care about this job specifically. You're not just firing off resumes, to every place under the sun. And even though that might be what you're doing in the background, it at least gives it the appearance that you are personally interested in working at that place, which will, help you stand out from everybody else who's probably just like, give me job, please. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you always want people who want to be there working with you rather than someone who's just looking for, their job. And that can definitely help with that.
Totally. Like I will do, because when I have applied for jobs, like I will be like I applied for Acorn. I think this was a good example because I actually got a response, which is like normally when you just cold apply to places, like that just doesn't, you don't get a response really usually. It's usually if a recruiter comes to you, that's a foot in the door. That's your chance really. But I feel like my cover letter was just like, hey, I really love your app and I would like to work with you guys. I actually use your app all the time. And I've made some stupid little pun or whatever. But they actually got back to me, but I already had accepted an offer by then. But yeah, so really personalizing it, I think it really matters. It makes a difference.
Do you guys think applying is a numbers game, or there's better result just actually applying to companies you want to work for?
Man, I really think that you should really just start applying to places that you really want to work for, and really put that effort in, because that's what's going to get you noticed more, I think. Because again, that personalization and like that clear desire to work for them does matter. But yeah, it's tough out there, so it's hard to say. Like it's kind of also a numbers game. I think it's a little bit of both. Like if you've been out of work for a long time, you really can't lose that personal touch though. It can get frustrating.
I also wouldn't I can't understate the importance of networking. Like, yes, numbers are important, but like talking to people, making personal connections, like
Absolutely.
getting yourself out there in that way is so much more important. Like you can do the easy apply on LinkedIn all day,
For real.
but like again, if you can't put a face and a story to a person, especially in a remote first world, it's like, yeah, those side meetings, the meetups in your city, right, with developers, those things really matter a lot. So I think that's it's uncomfortable, like you're putting yourself out there. It's kind of a vulnerable position to be in, but like at the end of the day, that's really, really important, I think.
Yeah, those connections are really how you're going to get your jobs. Honestly, make some friends. Those people
Yeah.
want to work with you.
I went to my sister's boyfriend's trying to get a job right now too, and we went to a meetup last week. We're gonna go to a meetup tomorrow. We're gonna kind of, work that. And again, like, he had never done any of that stuff before. And I was like, we're just here to rub elbows and talk to people and say, like, hey, here's what I'm interested in. And the thing is, you have those natural conversations with people, about like the stuff that is chit-chatting about whatever, but you almost inevitably get around to, kind of what your career goals are and stuff that you're working on. So I think the networking is huge. That being said, like remote is another way to do all that stuff. And if you start to look around a little bit, you'll find there's online Zoom meetings, there's online, chat groups, like even not for stuff just about careers, but like go look for things that are tech related will have a better shot. But it's not always like if you have a favorite gaming group or something and you're hanging out with those guys, sometimes they can help you out too, right? But like uh last week I went to a React meetup in Denver, and the guy doing the main portion of the talk was actually in Chicago, and he was just on the Zoom, telling his story and doing a bunch of slides and stuff over that. So just because it's in another city and like it feels like it's a regional specific thing doesn't necessarily mean that it's exclusive to that city, and there are probably people there who are hiring remote developers that are just hanging out in the room and stuff. So look for online or hybrid meetups and things as well as a great opportunity to network, with people as well. And we are not everybody on camera today, doing these meetings, which is fine. But I will say when you are doing that kind of thing and you're actually out there trying to network and get noticed, turning on your camera can help a lot. It puts a face to a name, and just helps people see that you're actually a real human being. So and just throwing that out there.
And also, like, y'all are already doing that, to be clear, by doing this collab lab. Like, that's
Yeah,
exactly
that's totally what
it
this is. Yeah.
like. We are only 3 mentors out of like, I don't know, 100, right? Like, there's a lot of other people to meet and like connect with, and like, yeah. So connections start in a place like this, but then definitely try to branch out and meet others as well. So yeah.
I feel like trying to maintain the relationship with the people you network is the hard part too, because obviously, if you meet them the first time, you don't want to be like, "Oh yeah, can you give me a job?" type of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
It feels silly and occasionally a little awkward to do this, but try and get into a habit of, when you're doing those types of things, find them on LinkedIn or get their email and then
Yeah.
just send them a note. It says, "Hey, thanks for talking to me. It was great meeting you today." And then, every once in a while you can be like, "Hey, I was just thinking about, 2 weeks ago we were at that meetup and I just want to let you know that you left an impression on me. And I just wanted to say, hey," right? Doing that little stuff that maybe feels silly and stuff still can sometimes lead to extra conversations and people be like, "Oh yeah, no, it was great. What have you been up to since then?" And that kind of stuff. And, sometimes that stuff bears fruit. So, yeah, it can feel a little weird and keeping up can be kind of a chore, but, it's worth doing.
Yeah, it's totally worth doing, and it's really not. It does feel weird, like if you have anxiety over that kind of stuff. But I know that when people have approached me over time and like kind of kept up with me on LinkedIn, I'm always just like so happy to hear from them. I'd be like, "Oh yeah, buddy, I remember you. Yay, what are you doing now?" And I've gotten like an opportunity. I got a job opportunity out of that. I got a job at Nike out of that. So like, definitely like keep up with your friends and stuff on LinkedIn. You never know like what they're doing and when they're going to need somebody on their team.
Yeah, I heard something about that, and I heard really good advice, but I haven't really practiced. Is when you meet someone, you can set an alert for 3 months later or half a year later to tell yourself, send a greeting message to them, just telling them, "Oh, it's been 3 months since I met you," something like that. But I haven't
That
really
is such a good
practiced.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great advice. I'm
It's
gonna
a
do
great idea.
that. Yeah.
And another thing that I've seen somebody do is that when they come across, like, those articles on Medium or anything that's like sort of like a tutorial, they've reached out to the author and told them
Yeah.
that your thing has helped me or whatnot. And that's another way to kind of just like reach out to people who are already in it. So I thought that was genius.
And like following people like tech people on social media. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dan Abramov. He's one of the maintainers of React, and he's big on Twitter, and he's a little bit on Blue Sky now. But he called out to his Twitter followers one day, and I just happened to see this tweet like right on time. He was like, "Hey, I need some developers that are like like 2 or less years in experience who want to hop on a Zoom call really quick and help me with a website. And I was like, hey buddy, what's up? And so we hopped on a Zoom call and I helped him troubleshoot his app. And so like, don't be shy, man, just reach out to folks. They're cool. They want to help you.
The worst thing that happens is they ignore you.
Right? And that's fine. Then you're just where you started. No big deal. All right, cool. Well, I mean, if there are no more questions, I feel like we could probably move on, and we can always talk about this stuff too more in Slack if you think of anything later. So, yeah.
Real quick, I don't know if y'all had a chance to touch on this last week, but I know that the last round of like self-learning modules had to do with accessibility.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need to have a discussion about it now, but like just a plug for it. Like I know that's like that's a super core tenet of the Collab Lab. I mean, the founder of it was, he's basically starting his own accessibility company right now. So like, we can definitely talk about it, but there's already been hints of it like in issues, right? With like form labels and that sort of thing. But there's definitely some really good resources in there. And, I think that's definitely something that can be a great asset to you as you all are looking for jobs is to talk about that experience with accessibility and what you do to address it. Like that's a very, very useful thing, I think. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look, definitely check out those slides for sure.
And that's one of those things that if you bake it into the way your process for how you approach implementation and design of your work, and you say, and like we've been doing, as you said, with the requirements on our issues, right? And saying like, oh, we need to focus on the keyboard stuff, and oh, we need to, there's little gotchas to watch out for. If you do that up front and you think about it right away, it's so much easier than trying to retrofit and refactor code to be more accessible after the fact. So it's one of those things to keep in mind, and it will help stand out in interviews and stuff too. If you like go to say, hey, I'm gonna, bring in this form and I'm worried about the tab order, you know what I mean? Like people will be like, oh yeah, you're onto something there. Especially because it can cost companies a lot of money when they can't get certified for such and such thing because they're not hitting the accessibility marks, and then government won't get them a contract or something. You know what I mean? So it can be a real big deal.
Alrighty, let's hit some issues for this week. So let me see why. Okay. Yeah, as I was looking through this, I was like, wow, we really are halfway through, maybe more than halfway through, which is insane. So anyways, here we are on issue number 8. This is going to be Millie and Grace this week. So as a user, I want to see a welcoming prompt to add my first item if my list is empty to help me get oriented to see how the app works. So when a user starts a new list, they need a little guidance on how to get started. Think through what you'd want to see as a user and make some intentional user experience decisions that will guide our users in confidently adding their very first item. So not a lot of AC here, really. It's just in the list view, when there are no items to display, there should be a prompt, e.g. a button, for the user to add their first item. So I know we've been kind of like saying for the first few weeks, don't worry about UI so much. Still don't need you to worry about styling in this case, but this is an opportunity to kind of start thinking about this experience. And so, yeah, this is pretty straightforward for an empty list. Any thoughts, questions about issue number 8?
I don't have any questions. This seems straightforward.
Cool.
I agree.
Very cool. All right.
There's a little bit of language in there that's sort of right. That's like, we want it to be a welcoming prompt that will guide our users, and we didn't really specify what that means. And you can probably get away with a very simple version of this. I think in my mind, there's more room to add a little bit more. I know we've been harping on don't do outside of the ticket work, but this one has a little bit more open-ended for some interpretation. My other two mentors, how do you feel about that? Do you think there's room here to like add some flourish if you want it?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, if you got time, do it.
Yeah. And that's good. And I think, again, you know, if there's an idea and you want to put it in Slack and just say, hey, this is kind of the road we're going down, like that would be cool too. Just to keep everyone on the same page. But yeah, it's great. All right, let's check out issue number 9, which is going to be Amanda and Leon. So as a user, I want to mark an item on my shopping list as purchased so the app can learn how often I buy different items. So the summary, users need a UI that allows them to mark their items as purchased so they can track what on their list they do and do not need to buy. So the AC here, the list item component renders a checkbox with a semantic label. Checking off the item in the UI also updates the date last purchased and total purchases properties on the corresponding Firestore document. The item is shown as checked for 24 hours after the purchase is made, i.e. we assume the user does not need to buy the item again for at least 1 day. After 24 hours, the item unchecks itself so the user can buy it again. And the last one is the update item function in Firebase.js has been filled out and sends updates to the Firestore database when an item is checked. So just a couple of notes on this one. While you will need to update multiple parts of the Firestore document for this feature, do not worry about date next purchase yet. That will be addressed in a future issue. And then the next one is you can use the Firestore console to test that this feature is working correctly, e.g. by manipulating the value of date last purchase. So again, I'm assuming folks have kind of had a chance to poke around in Firebase a little bit, but everyone has access to this, of course. And so when it's talking about the console, we would just go into a list. I'm not sure if any of these have items. I think this one does. Maybe. Here we go, test list. So what we're talking about is if you're looking at one of these items, so you can update this date next purchase. If you want to edit this, you would just edit the field and then you can enter a new date. So as you're going through just to see if the changes work, that's how you can manually update the date. So let me pull up the code real quick as well. It's in Firebase.js. Yes, this is going to be a to-do. So this is going to be an API function that you get to work out, the update item. So yeah, as it says, you'll just kind of need to figure out the arguments that need to be passed in and kind of go from there. But of course, again, you kind of have some things that you can use and other functions here. Also, definitely checking out the Firestore docs will be helpful here as well. Let's see, anything else with this one? I will say that this particular AC, the one with the item being checked for 24 hours, this is kind of one to think through for sure. I think we have a constant set for 1 day. Am I right about that? Did they add that in? Can't think. I thought I saw it earlier. Was it in dates maybe? Oh no, it's just, oh yeah. So this 1 day in milliseconds. So you might want to use that as part of your method, just to kind of check and see how long things are checked. But anyways, that's just kind of something to be aware of. So any questions, comments, concerns about this one?
I can't think of any questions right now. Probably need to just digest and look through the code and work on it.
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
I have one.
Yeah.
What happens if I uncheck an item, or should I be able to?
That is a good question. Yeah, thoughts about that? I've seen this go a couple different ways. I mean, I don't, yeah. Sometimes like it's not allowed to uncheck an item after it's been checked. Other times there's like you check a box and then you update everything all together by like adding like a submit button or something like that. definitely open to feedback on that though. I'm curious what others would think, and that's kind of a user experience thing you definitely should consider, because that is a thing.
I don't think there's a right answer necessarily, but it's probably one, like you said, to think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would think about it.
Yeah, I feel like whatever
Thank you.
behavior you guys come up with,
For sure. Yeah,
we'll roll with it.
totally. And of course, yeah, if there are questions, y'all know what to do. Just post in Slack, and then yeah, we'll get it figured out. All right, so yeah, these issues have been assigned in GitHub. We'll get the pairing threads in Slack pretty soon up. I think that's kind of it for the issues this week. So here we are.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
Not on the issue, just a general question. When we merge the branch to main, should we delete our development branch?
I think it does that. Does it not do that automatically? Do we not have that set up?
It gave us the option, but yeah.
Oh.
I would. I don't know that it's a strong needs to happen. Otherwise, you just end up with GitHub clutter. If you don't.
Okay, so it's optional.
Yeah, but go ahead and do it. Yeah, once you've merged the main, it's not really a need to keep it around. So
Okay, thank you.
Most workplaces will either set a policy around deleting it right away, or if they don't, you'll get periodic nags from someone who's like, our Git branches are out of control. Let's go, pruning now. And then everybody has to go in and delete stuff they're not using anymore, and it becomes a chore.
Yeah, I guess I realized I'm used to it auto deleting. So, yeah.
But sometimes you want to keep it around because, like, you're doing something and you want to reference it.
Yeah,
So there's reasons to not.
yeah.
I was wondering if you guys had any resources about crafting a solid resume, because I feel like if I'm building a CRUD project, I don't necessarily know how to put it on the resume, because I've read people say like, oh, you should tell them how many users are using your project, blah blah blah, like metrics stuff. But I feel like if it's just like a passion project, like you don't have users, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I've never put
yeah.
anything like that on my resumes. And especially if it's your first like tech resume, like no. You don't need that. And nobody would expect that, I don't think.
Yeah, there's also, I think there's the notion of a good resume, which was a career lab thing, by the way. And I can't remember, are we doing that towards the end of this
yeah,
session since we filled in career lab stuff?
it's like, yeah, I think it's just baked in now to everything.
Okay.
So we'll definitely be getting to that. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're talking about this in a little bit here. The other thing is also portfolio sites are like the new resume thing, and there's a lot of good examples and resources on that. And we can follow up on Slack if you have. Actually, that's probably a good one to go to the Learning Together channel or something and be like, hey, does anyone have a good ideas or examples of like great portfolio sites to put together, which is especially for front end land, like almost a requirement now to have for getting certain kinds of jobs. So
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah, Leon, to answer your question, I'd say like in a resume, like when you're listing your projects, a short blurb about functionality and maybe like an implementation choice that you made is more appropriate than like how many users, right? You can focus on like what it's built on, full stack, whatever. and kind of like highlight those things on your resume. And then in a place like a portfolio website, like, you know, you could have more information about that and all that. So yeah.
All right, just highlight the features of the app, I guess.
Yeah, focus on building. Show them that you can build, because that's what you want to do.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
If you're trying to get money out of like a VC, then they care about how many users you have. But I can't see why that would be on a resume.
Right. Unless you're going to be your own CEO, you're starting your own startup, like then I can see that. You know what, you guys, I just use my LinkedIn resume, and I might like make it a little prettier, but it's a good resume that they make for you. Honestly.
Yeah. I've had the same one I had for what's probably getting close to like 9 or 10 years now, that I've just slowly updated with like
Yeah.
each year's more relevant information.
Same.
Works. All right. Any other questions before we wrap it up for the day?
I'm good.
All
Nice.
right. Well, then I will go ahead and close the meeting. Like I said, keep being noisy and Slack. Y'all are doing an excellent job. We're cruising right along, and we're about to get to some of the more fun pieces of the project as well, as we get to. Now we've got some of the boilerplate in there, so we can start doing more interesting stuff. So should be fun. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and
Awesome.
close it.
Great work, everyone. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you,
work
guys.
again.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank
Talk to you guys later.
you.
Yep.